So I was recently listening to one Neville Goddard lecture where he said something that clicked in my mind, and I realized that almost everybody, especially beginners who come to law of assumption, are making this mistake, even myself including, which is thinking from the end. What we do is we think of the end. What do I mean by that? Neville Goddard was talking about the idea that whenever we assume something new, we are usually thinking of it. That is, we are putting it somewhere in the future and somewhere out there. Like, for example, if somebody says, I am blissfully married, so they will put this idea somewhere in the future where they will get married, and there's a lot of things that will happen to get them there. So they are not occupying the state, they are not thinking from the state. Well, thinking from the state is simple. Whenever you think about that you are blissfully married, you imagine a ring in your hand. If you're a woman, usually women have a ring in their finger that they are married, and in some cultures even men have it. So this is thinking from the end. That is, you are in the state, you are already married, and you are thinking from that state. And so in my personal life, as I have told the story that my wife is Russian and I'm in Russia right now, and we had a long distance relationship. I was in Malaysia and it was COVID time, so we couldn't meet, there was no travel, and so I applied this law of assumption exactly this way, which is whenever I thought about us, I affirmed an affirmation which was, I am blissfully married, and then you insert the name, and we are happily living together in Russia with ease and harmony. So I affirmed that. So I was thinking from the end, not of the end, like, oh, someday it will happen. And I used to imagine us walking in snow in Russia. That's another example of thinking from the end. Well, what most people do is, especially like when they want certain amount of money, they usually say that I am, for example, X amount of money I have. Now they will put it in somewhere in the future where the money will come to them. But as we understand now that everything exists right now, creation is finished, there is no future really and there is no past, it's all imagination. When you think of your past, where is it? Can you touch it? Is it tangible? Not really, right? So, but you can feel the emotions of past trauma so effortlessly because we trust in our so-called personal experience. Well, there is no difference between a future imaginal act that we put in future but it's all now, and a past experience. There is no difference to our deeper self, because our deeper self, the depth of our own being, is all imagination. And recently I was thinking about the idea that how could God create something from nothing? Well, you can create right now anything in your imagination, right? Even though I've never been to a snowy land before in my life, I was still imagining walking in snow, which I've never had this experience before in this physical life. But I imagined something from nothing. I created something from no personal experience, no substance, no nothing. I brought the so-called future event in the now moment, and I bring, as Neville says, bring there, here, and then now. So I did that. And in that experience, I was there in my imagination. So that's the idea of creating something from nothing. That's how God creates worlds. So imagination is the base substance of everything that we see and experience. Even the experience of this physical world is just imaginative because these physical objects are not really there. It's the light that is being bounced off of the particles of these objects that our eyes are making a picture out of it. So it's our eyes that are generating this experience. And when we go deep in quantum physics, we realize that nothing really exists. It's all energy and it's all particles and waves. I made a detailed video a couple of years ago on this idea. I will link in the description to it. But the idea is, even though this experience seems very, very real and very tactile, but this is coming out of imagination. Your experience is coming out of your imagination, and the grand experience is coming out of the dream of God. This is why in the book The Kabbalion it says that the all is mind and the universe is mental. Simply put, it's a mental projection or dream of God. So God dreamed all of this from nothing and created something, and so we imagine the same. So the reason I talked about all these abstract ideas is for you to understand that imagination is the only reality. So when you think from your desire, it's a real physical, or not physical, but sensory experience. You can right now imagine holding a tennis ball in your hand. Close your eyes and imagine that you are holding on to a tennis ball and you can squeeze it. So where is this sensory feelings coming from? Because it's a real experience. The only thing is our imagination and our focus is not persistent and consistent like this reality. But that's not for us to do. That's the grand reality is in the mind of God. That's the job of the Father, as in the biblical terms it says that Christ says that I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. So I and my Father are one basically means that we are one, but I'm individualized aspect of God having this experience while God animates everything else, the grand scheme of things. But ultimately it's all one imagination. And so when you imagine from the desired end and you give it sensory vividness and you feel the fulfillment, that's a real experience. But what people do is they are way too immersed in this reality, especially beginners, and they are thinking of the desire all the time. Oh, I want to get married, I want to get married. And then when they affirm something, but they still have this mental association that is somewhere there outside, and I need to attract it, I need to bring it, and it's in the future and it will come somehow. While Nalgar says that creation is finished, all states exist right now in the body of God. Everything that you can possibly think of exists. This is why you can imagine things that are not even in your physical experience, because they exist in the mind of God, in imagination. Everything exists. So if you can imagine it, it exists. And if you can move into the state in your imagination, you occupy the state, you think from the state, it will become your reality, because that's our freedom of choice. That's the gift of speech and mind that God has given us, that we can choose our experience by feeling its reality and claiming it and occupying it. So thinking of your desire would mean, another example could be, I recently made a video of buying a house in Russia, a flat, and I will put the link in the description of the entire story. But basically there were problems and it was almost getting out of my hand. But what I did was I imagined walking in my flat whenever I thought about it. Literally, quite literally, I was walking with my imaginative feet in my flat. And one night I slept in there in imagination in the bed of my flat. So this was thinking from my desire, and I literally associated my imaginal act to be real, like I'm literally there. And that is exactly after a few days it happened. So thinking of would mean I would keep on thinking that I will get this house, I will get this house is mine, this house is mine, but I keep associating that somewhere in future, like some magic will happen in the future and it may come to me. But occupying the state is totally different. Thinking from the desire is completely different. You are in the state, you occupy it, and you believe that it's already yours because it's in imagination, and you only credit imagination as the true reality and not this world. So your reasoning mind can tell you, but where is it? Where is it? You are saying you have it, but where is it? And you can say, it's in my imagination. And you can again bring out that picture of you doing the act, me walking in my flat, me walking in snow, you looking at your bank app and seeing the money that you want to see there, or you feeling the ring on your hand. So you say to your mind that here's the proof in my imagination. And I want to announce that if anybody is interested in one-on-one consultation, the link is in the description. And also I'm thinking to do a Zoom sort of mastermind live stream on my membership channel soon, where I will share a Zoom link with my members, and they can come and talk to me directly, all of them, and we can have a sort of mastermind discussion and discuss all things related to navel. So if it's something that you're interested in, please join the membership channel. The button is down below. So this is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.